Hey guys, it's Avenger. Welcome back to the channel. And Sim Update 1 has launched. We're going to be talking about that during today's video, but we're also flying a plane I've never flown before in this sim. This is the Cessna 408 Skycourier. We'll talk about that more during the flight as well, but for the time being, we're going to get ourselves operational here, so let's get ourselves on the ramp. Make sure all of that stuff is checked that I need to actually do for once. And like I said, we'll talk about the plane and Sim Update 1 once we're in the air. So this is Cessna's biggest medium at the moment in terms of transport capability. So a dedicated kind of courier aircraft, really kind of after that whole FedEx dollar, able to transport actual, well, you know a word, and it just leaves your brain completely. Containers, yeah, cargo containers, containerized cargo inside this aircraft. You'll see from up in the backseat doodle up here. See, containerized aircraft cargo. Wonderful stuff. With a huge loading door. Very practical aircraft for bush flying. Now, where are we today? As I can't work out where the door handles are. That's okay, thank you for that. No, God, Sim, stop being yourself. Oh wow, this has actually broken it. I'm impressed. Go away. Did we find a door hatch? We found a door hatch. Fantastic. I'm leaving that in, because all of you know exactly what it's like when the sim decides it wants to run off on its own and do its own thing. Appears to be our trim tab there, our rudder surface. Controls are locked, I believe, initially in this aircraft. Yeah, they are. So we'd have to hop on board to check that, so we'll do just that now. And I believe we have gust locks on there, so we'll find out now. Very caravan-y entry there. Have we got gust locks? I think there are gust locks on here. Control lock. There we go. Yep, so if we were to get out now and run over to a control, it still doesn't move. That's disappointing. Oh well. But confirming, they do actually move. Yeah, they do. So we're sorted there. Okay, we'll get our checklists up here. And we're going to get started on this aircraft because I've never flown it before. And we're going to have fun. So aircraft, 2 checklists, 2... We'll skip pre-flight inspection because these are all things we should really have done before starting engine. Parking brake set. It is set. It's out. Battery switch to on. Battery switch is on. So what to do there? Standby display on. Hold. Yep, and it goes to there. Fantastic. Emergency lights are armed. They're in the armed position. Yeah, yes. Looking good. RPM levels to maximum. Let's make sure those are set there. Power letters to idle.
System test.
Now this is updated to the new version of the working title Garmin G1000. We do have a new G1000 with some update 1. Condition levels to full. Cut off. They are in fact cut off. Fantastic. Engine starting. So navigation lights to on. And when it goes past what we're looking at, those are all set to be where they need to be. Okie dokie. Let's move this out of the way just for now. Beacon is on. Ignition's... Again, moving past where we actually want to see. So starter is on for right. It doesn't say to turn the boosts on, so we're not going to. Are we getting any movement on the engine? We are, so that will be right condition. Yep, the engine has bitten and is taking. It's fantastic. Yep, we're seeing movement on the engine. Fantastic. Off at 50%. We're past 50%, so we can turn that off there. So left starter. It's coming up. Nearly ready. As soon as it is. A little bit higher than it currently is. And high idle on that one. Gauge low idle. Engine's bitten and started. Once we hit 50%, we'll turn it off. We have hit 50%. And to high idle. Well, that is our engine started. So our before takeoff checks are prop levers to full. They are full. Flaps set for takeoff, which is going to be our first notch here. Flight controls free and clear. They are free and clear. What is still being warned here as bleed air is off. Auto feathers are off. So I'm assuming we're down here somewhere, where most of these things are, which aren't in the checklists, surprisingly enough there. Generators on, avionics on. Yeah, no, I do quite like how a bunch of stuff is just not listed in my checklists. Bleed air to on. It should be on for bleed air. Auto feathers. Where's my auto feather switch? Those are those. You would have thought I'd have found these things. Auto feather to arm. Fantastic. We are ready for departure. So today we're flying out of Cameroon in Africa, and this video is a little bit for my good friend Dave, who is a mechanic who works for a, I will keep them unnamed, works for a charity that does bush flying out in Africa, flying aid and people around. And he's off out in Africa most of the year, working on caravans and other aircraft, keeping them flying, keeping communities taken care of. It's really cool work. So we're flying from Bamenda in the west of Cameroon, western province of Cameroon. We're flying down to Bali. In fact, we'll pop this up on the screen for you right now. So we're flying from here. So we are here in Africa. Right there. I love having this now. I can show you guys where we are. So we're here in West Cameroon. We're flying from Bamenda, down to Bali Airport. And then on to Mamfe, or a village near it, which is called Bisongabang, which is a fantastic name. So we're going to get ourselves airborne here, and we're going to get ourselves en route for this. And then we're going to start talking about Sim Update 1 and the Skycourier. Okay. Our winds today are surprisingly calm. We're using real world weather. We've got some clouds, 2700. Our wind speed is basically non-existent. We've got about 1 or 2 knots. So we should be very, very good today. Let's get this thing turned around. It's a big aircraft. Now its takeoff landing distance is about 3,000 to 3,500 feet. It's a 50-foot obstacle. And with the trees here, it's going to be quite a lot of that. But she's got good visibility on the ground for taxiing. I do like this about this. Interesting twitchy controls. That's not normal for my sim. Feels like sticky pots, but it shouldn't be sticky pots. Okay. Might be the animation on this aircraft because I don't have it with anything else, and I haven't had it for anything else recently. We'll see how she behaves once she's in the air. Let's get ourselves out to the runway now. It's a very fast and responsive aircraft, this one. At least in terms of taxi potential. Now, we are going to back taxi a fair bit here, but not too far. We don't need the whole end of the runway. Because obviously, 8,000 feet, we've got more than enough here. About as far as the sock over there on the right. Okay, this will do us. Actually, you know what? We don't even need to go that far. Boop up our right engine here to get ourselves spinning around. Everything is good here. Let's rock and roll. First flight to the Skycourier. Airspeed's alive, 50. Giving a pitch. She's not peeling off the runway yet. 90. Now she's coming up.
Stall.
Whoa, that snapped off the runway a little bit. Of course, this is a fixed gear aeroplane, so nothing to actually retract there gear-wise. There's flaps coming up for us. We'll take a look outside. Yeah, there's definitely hints of Beechcraft 1900 about this aircraft. See the profile? It's kind of got that 1900D thing going on. with a fixed gear, making it nice and rugged. Simplifies it for operations. PT6 engines, very popular and reliable. Perfect aircraft for this kind of operation, actually. So we're here in Cameroon, in Africa. Right, let's get our nose down here. Get ourselves on course. We'll get our autopilot set up. We can talk about the update. Hopefully we'll have some time before we arrive at Bali. So, let's make sure everything's set as it needs to be here. That is not our altitude indicator. That's our select here. Push that nose down. She's absolutely climbing like a rocket ship. Ooh, yeah. Engine set where we want it to be. Okay, we'll just manage that for a second. All the modes we want are set. We should have engaged nav. I think we should have picked up the nav. Are we in the right mode? We are VFR, fantastic. Have we picked up? Is it engaging here? It's engaging. We're getting very close to actually to Bali, so we may actually do the talking once we get past Bali. We'll talk about the airplane quickly first, though. That's the Skycourier by Cessna. It's picked up. There we go. Now it's a utility aircraft designed by the Cessna division of Textron, obviously Cessna. Launched on November 28th, 2017, with an order of 50 from FedEx Express. Built to obviously fit the needs of its feeder service, as we mentioned. It took their first production model reception on the 2022. And so far they're in production and 33 have been built. In fact, that looks to be our airport right there. So we're already basically here. Twin turboprop high wing monoplane, as you'd expect for an aircraft like this. In terms of specs, like I said, 2 Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6 engines. Let's make sure the autopilot is off. Your damper is confirmed off as well. She has 1100 horsepower per engine there. 4-bladed Macaulay propellers with auto feathering and reverse. Cruise speed is going to be around 210 knots, so very, very quick. Quicker than the Caravans and other aircraft are similar. Range is about 386 nautical miles. Ferry range is 920. Service ceiling 25,000 feet. Now I think that's our field to my side there. Interesting in terms of the response here on the yoke. That's quite twitchy. Could be an issue I'm developing. Now where's this field? We're passing by it. Turn my head on here so I can actually see what I'm doing. We are past it. I think it was there on our left. So I'm going to come around here, take a look and see if we can spot it. Good. Airplane, nice and steady. A little bit of rudder input here. Speed is very, very high. She's rolling a bit. Wind's... I don't know if there's wind on our controls today. There's our strip. Okay. This should be reasonably easy. We'll go wide, we'll come back around and make our approach. That's going to be 4,000 feet of dirt for us today. Okay, a little bit of trim here. Yeah, that twitching on the yoke is super weird. Super weird. Make sure nothing else is touching anything it shouldn't be. Our controls are fine 3 days ago. So nothing should have changed in that time. Okay, so let's pull this speed back here. And we'll get our flaps deployed. Make our first drop off here. It bleeds speed very quickly. Well, this is weirdness introduced in Sim Update 1 because on the beta it was absolutely flawless. Very interesting. Yeah, my controls are going all over the place. Once we land, I'll get this taken a look at and I'll see what I can do. Let's get ourselves turned around here. We'll make our approach. We're just going to treat it like we've got wind because it's basically given us turbulence and interrupted conditions. So we're just going to try and manage this as we come round. Yeah, takeoff distance is listed as 3,600 feet, so we are just good on this airport. Keep the nose high so we've got a bit of altitude here, see what we're doing. We've got reverse pitch to handle that if we need it. There's the strip, rolling in. Okay, power's about to idle. Let's burn some of the speed off here. Very choppy. It feels like I'm coming in with mad turbulence, but I can tell it's the yoke doing something weird. So like I say, oh, that's going to pitch low. Very pitch low after the low RPM there. Landing flaps set. Okay, looking good. Looking good. Power back again, but not too far back. It does like a bit of power to keep its nose up.
400.
Oh, you're going to annoy me.
300. 300. 300.
There we go.
200.
Thank you very much.
200. 200.
It's a little bit tight with these trees.
200. 100.
Okay. Oh, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay, we're going to get ourselves taxied back to the start of here, and I'm going to work out what the heck is messing with my controls. And hopefully we'll have a far easier time, and then we'll get to talk about Sim Update 1. So do not go anywhere. Welcome back, and turns out I restarted the simulator, and my controls are beautifully perfect now. Yeah, I have an income alphas, and don't know why, but restarting the sim, and running back through calibrations, everything's back to normal. So we can continue on our journey. Now, heading from Bali here to Foxtrot Kilo Kilo Foxtrot, which is Manfe, and Bisongabang, which is a great, great village name. So, let's get ourselves on the way here. 1-notch flaps there. Let's us out onto the runway here. We'll get ourselves en route and ready to rock, and then we shall be moving. This thing's great at rugged terrain on the ground, which is rather nice. Is that... Oh, here we go. This is Africa. African problem. We got animals on the runway. I love it. Looks like we have to stop here for a second whilst we get rid of them. But we got... I think it's like cattle. It's deer or cattle or something on the runway. Very, very African problem. Come on, idiots, move. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. They're not moving, are they? I'm going to get a little closer, see if we can make them run away. Come on, idiots. Let's go. Let's go. Big, scary, noisy airplane. That's it. Go on. Get out of here. I don't like how those are all over the runway. No, they're moving now. Okay. Let's go full power. That is a very African problem to have. In reality, I'd probably wait for them to clear even more or get out to scare them off, but well, the workers get rid of them. But we've got enough room here to get past. And they're doing one as we come up to them. That is such an amazing thing to see in the simulator. Yeehaw! Yeah, random pack of wild animals just roaming on the runway. I love it. Let's have a better takeoff this time. We've got more speed here. Knock the nose down so it doesn't bite as hard. There we go. This thing absolutely climbs like a missile, I've got to say. Very potent little aeroplane. Now the controls are behaving beautifully, and she's even easier to fly.
500.
Yeah! Okay, let's make sure we are set here to about 6.5 again. Okay. So once I have us an intercept, which we are nearly. Hold nav. And we should be good. We need to set it to vertical speed mode. There we go. That'll take us up to our altitude we want. And it's now time to talk about Sim Update 1, which is exactly what you wanted to hear about, isn't it? So our big changes, and I've been on beta version for about a week and a half. Fixed a rare crash during airport generation. I'll link the update notes for you if you haven't seen them. Crash when selecting liveries after reloading in game when not flying default version. Crash when skip to features used at the beginning of an exam. Potential crash switching on and off VR mode. Renamed bandwidth download and display FPS panel to avoid misinterpretation. Fair enough. Optimized texture memory usage for WASM gauges. Useful. Fixed crash when loading closing game during package mounting. Fixed crashes when too many avatars meet up online. I haven't had that one myself. Fixed crash on Xboxes when accessing areas close to the anti-meridian, such as Savu Savu, NF November Sierra. Improved loading times packages, which has, been done. So our big bug fixes, I'll summarize some of these. Basically, controllers losing inputs if they went into filters in the map. We have an issue with soft locking people out when they're using map filters. Community packages preventing streamed packages with the same name from being found by the sim, which was people were doing on purpose to get rid of certain files, to be fair. Scene flickering on Xbox has been removed when memory usage is high. Profanity check on call signs and flight numbers. Ha! A bug when non-selectable aircraft were not taken into consideration by various systems after a mount-unmounted build package. Deluxe Premium Aviator Edition content not being streamed when booting the game for the first time. Fixed. Multiplayer name display range to low. That's been fixed. We have camera panel no longer forces cockpit view when opened. Fixed swapping colours between online and offline friends. Missing music and legacy discovery flight activities. Clock hours and minutes times events behaving as expected. Fixed usage of real time instead of flight time. Community packages being duplicated, and increased screen exposure under heavy cloud cover. It was rather dark. Pop outside for a bit of a view here. So backwards compatibility bug fixes. These are big ones. 2020 plane's exterior lights bleeding into cockpit when displayed in 24. Fixed. Wrong font selected when rendering XML gauge elements. Fixed. 2024 SimVar ambient light sensor returned to high value if requested for a 2020 sim. Texture reference in FX files and emissive brightness. Now we do not know if this means we'll now see pilots in 2020 aircraft that have been ported to 24 yet. They may be, but we have not found out yet. Now we have the 185F has been released. I'd be flying that today, but as you know, I've already flown it twice in videos. I don't want to oversaturate you as much as I love it. And it's also improved the grouping of 2020 aircraft with an empty ICAO model in the selector configurator. So if you haven't got that filled out, it will group them for putting your own 2020 aircraft in. Numerous updates for the Airbus A310, 320, memory optimizations for those two. Same for the 321. The 330 has a massive change list if you're interested. Lots of fixes. The Atlas 400M has changes. I'll be planning to fly that one soon. The Albatross HU16, the one there, has a massive list of changes. We have added features, we have fixes, tons of additions, and tons of changes. It's a big new version with some really cool features. Check out the flight manual included with the aircraft in the Pilot's Guide PDF to see the changes, because there's big changes to the aircraft, which is really cool. Including things like the pylon drag being increased. We've got the ability to pop your head out more of the nose hatches. Improved reflections and lighting. Anchor simulation now. So really cool. Check that out. Now when it comes to the Baron, we've got some changes there. Mostly updates and fixes. Lots of fixes for the Bonanza. Now this also does cover the glass being milked out. So it should improve those in the two Beechcraft, sorry. Because that was quite an annoying one, and they've also fixed the water and dust effects. C90 has had it's basically avionics got up to the working title 21 version 2. So lots of working title updates throughout all of Sim Update 1. Loads of LOD fixes as well across most aircraft. The 737 MAX, big fixes. Same for the Global Supertanker, the Dreamlifter, the 787. So tons of fixes from those. I won't go into fine detail, you can read them if you're interested in those particular aircraft. The Globemaster, massive changes. The Chinook changes. The 172, the Agtruck, the 208, the Corvallis. This, the Titan, lots of fixes there. Lots of changes too. Now this one, we go up to the new working title G1000 V2. So this whole system in here has been updated. Water wake effects have been added in case you ditch. Camera pans properly now. We've got new oral warning tests. The yoke tooltips are back. Tooltips for example, the visors up here are fixed. The FMS keyboard LOD is fixed on here. Landing gear wheels now spin, which is a funny thing to miss. Takeoff performance, everything else has been all fixed in it. Aircraft's had major updates with its avionics. We've got they've corrected the checklists which we use to start the aircraft, because if you follow the checklists that were in the starting there, you couldn't start the aircraft manually on the original version. You can now. CJ4, the Longitude have all had updates. The Cirrus, the Vision Jet, everything has had major updates. This is a massive, massive update, and frankly, I'm very impressed because we obviously had a rocky start to the sim, but now we've had big, big improvements into Sim Update 1 on its own. Probably a lot of things that would have been caught if they'd tested for longer and had a proper beta period. So we'll say that, as much as I'm a fan of 2024, they needed more of a beta period and more beta testing. They did not have it. So a lot of these things would have been caught, probably, in a proper testing phase. Even the Draco and the Got Friends aircraft do have things to fix. So there is that. So lots and lots of fixes across all different aircraft. We're going to skip all the rest of them because, frankly, you can look it up if you're interested. There are changes pretty much for everything in there. Now, core changes to the sim. The fuel system in aircraft now. There's been an issue fixed with the fuel type parameter, which can now be changed correctly in a version of 6 or latest. And some aircraft starting with 0 fuel has been fixed. Glass cockpit, avionics displays being overexposed has been fixed. The G1000 NXI, autopilot is now inhibited from activating altitude capture mode for a short time each time the autopilot's pre-selected altitude is manually changed. False positives on the RNPAR approaches. An issue has been fixed with flight plan loading. The G3000 and 5000 have been updated. The 3X Touch has been updated as well. Mostly bug fixes there. The 430 and 530s, they've got, again, some small changes to how they function in systems-wise with autopilot interactions and RNAV, which is across all of them. Loads of avionics fixes, including the Primus Epic Integrated Avionics System as well, has had major changes. The Pro Line 21, again, flight plan changes and autopilot changes to that as well. Physics-wise, helicopter CFD rotor wash aerodynamics issues on the edge of the platforms have been fixed. That was a big one because if you were doing some of the flights where you were landing on, say, the oil rigs, you kind of got bedoinged every time you came close to the edge of the platform, which was a major, major problem. And that was a one that no one really was happy with. So let's have a look at what else we've got here now as well, because there are still more going on. I'm trying to find the right point because I rolled back accidentally from where I was meant to be. Flight system. We've upgraded navigation data. Variation data to WMM 2025 model. Do I still have flaps deployed? I think I do. God, that's dumb of me. I've been paying too much attention to reading to that performance data. Now the EFB issues with the planner, dropping waypoints, ICO names, etc. all fixed. Tons and tons of fixes across this. All sorts of bugs have been ironed out there. Runway length displaying correctly on various things that should be. Now gameplay and pre-flight, increased player character camera speed has been moved. That's good. And gamepad control for the player has been improved too. Career mode bug fixes, there are loads. So tons of mission briefing fixes. Crashes have been fixed. Profile bars have been fixed. Skip phase button has been fixed. Disruption on the world map has been fixed. Or distribution, sorry, has been improved, including more VIP charter and night missions. Mission currency reward is now taking reputation bonus into account. Passive income now generated when flying employee missions. Useful. Tons and tons of fixes for various bugs and issues. Difficulty has been fixed now and updated as well. And specializations have been updated too. Mission fixes as well. Lots of those. Agricultural aviation. No longer fields you're going to be spraying are no longer covered in trees. Useful. And fix some medevac mission stuff too. Certification fixes and online services. We've got friends list has been fixed. And friends showing on the world map now. And the all players option for multiplayer has been savable now. World libraries have been updated for files and textures. Cliff textures no longer appear on photometry buildings. Giant trees from corrupted tin areas have been fixed. And aerials no longer use super sampling option, they're always sharp. Airport lighting has been fixed. Tons of improvements to various specific add-on airports as well. Mostly LOD improvements in general. And you'll be able to see a lot of those listed. My library issues have been sorted too. We have user-enabled content in the library, automatically activated and visible without need for a reboot. So you can drop stuff in live, I think. Photometry not being disabled in game when disabling photometry package can now actually be done. Sorting and filtering have all been improved, and sorting other factors there. VR. I know a lot of you like VR. Fixed environmental cockpit occlusion not working in the right eye, and fixed an issue causing yoke hider interaction to fail in VR in the F-18, 208 and 172. So added feedback when sensing the input curve axis sensitivity. Much of peripheral controls there. Placeholder images, inverted POV settings, useful. Training updates as well. World photographer and free flight updates. Tons of SDK updates as well for developers. So for project editors, general dev mode, scenery editor stuff, big changes. SimConnect updates, SimVaro updates, VASM API updates, and tons more for those interested. So you'll now be able to get a lot more out of this. If you're a developer, obviously you're probably already reading these things. I feel like I'm out of breath reading all that to you. There is a ton of improvements and changes, which is going to be massive. I'm excited. Very excited. No updates to DC3, of course. Why would Airplane Heaven update anything? That's insulting me. I do apologise. So let's have a look at this. We're not far away at all. We're about 2 minutes out, so we better start descending. So I'm going to knock off the autopilot. Almost perfect timing. I'm going to be reading everything there. We'll start ourselves descending here. Towards Bisongabang in Western Cameroon. Technically it's called Mamfe Airport. In fact, I believe that says 12 o'clock there. It's a grass strip about 4,000 feet long. So pull our power back really most of the way here. Lose some of this altitude. That'll be Mamfe above us here. Bisongabang is just off the end of the runway. So we'll fly across that as we approach. Now I'm going to go down and check the strip, because like the last one, we could all have animals all over this. And I don't particularly feel like taking a buffalo to the face. It is bad for the aircraft and bad for me too. But I've got to say, this is a beautiful aeroplane to fly. I hadn't really given it much time before. I thought it a bit generic, but it's really enjoyable. And as a bush plane, it's fantastic. There's of course the cargo loaded and unloaded versions. We have the passenger version. It's very Twin Ottery. I suppose it is a more sleek Twin Otter in many ways. It's what would happen if a Twin Otter and a Beech 1900D had a baby, and then Cessna scooped up the mess afterwards. Yeah, it's strange, because it looks like a 1900, it's crossed with a 206, a 208, sorry, and I like it, actually. The fixed gear with the little stubby spars out there give me lots and lots of kind of British aircraft from the interwar or post-war era kind of vibes. Very shorts sort of feel to that. That big tail looks very 280. The cargo door is really cool in the cargo variant. It's a very useful aircraft for bush flying, because decent takeoff and landing performance there, 3,600 feet for takeoff. Or land short, obviously. We'd best get over there towards the runway and take a look at it. And our plane is flying so much nicer now, the control's not messing around on me. But she's nimble, she has great visibility for the crew. Obviously pressurized, very useful. Oxygen on board. Great avionics suite. Exactly what you want for more rugged flying. It appears to be flying a twin turboprop and having to go recce the strip in case there's anything on it that's going to try and knock me over. 1 notch flaps while I do a quick recce pass. So we've got grass there, we've got decent approaches at both ends by the looks of things. Trees aren't too severe. Runway looks pretty wide.
500.
Yep, we're not going in this time. That'd be Bisongabang there, right to the north of the
300.
strip.
200.
I could probably land now, but I'm not going to. That's probably asking a bit much.
100.
Okay, looking good so far. Nothing near or on the runway. Oh, that's a lot of stuff on the runway right there. Hey, feckers. Get out of my way. I hope they're gone when I come back around. Hopefully I've just scared them off with a pass.
300.
Dave will get a good laugh out of this. Me dodging buffalo. Or cattle. Okay. There's the strip, looking good. So, prep for landing. Props to full fine. Conditions full fine, full rich. Power back here. Knock a notch of flaps in, 1.2. Okay, looking good. She definitely pitches back when she's got that on, but I need to keep a little bit of power on this time for our second landing. Okay, it's behaving nicely right now. I don't want to try and land short here. I don't want to get near the wildlife at the end of the runway. Power coming back. We'll let her drop down. We're descending. We're losing speed. This is nice. Keep it coming down. A little bit of power on to keep the nose up here. Give us some control authority.
500.
Okay, looking good.
400.
Looking good.
300.
You're going to annoy me.
200.
Yeah, you're going to really annoy me.
200.
I don't need a Hollywood movie tutorial.
100.
Don't need to do a trailer for this. Okay, let's keep the nose up a little bit here. Touchdown. Hit reverse there. Okay, back to idle. We're good now. So we'll taxi along here, and hopefully our four-legged friends have buggered off. We're going to taxi up to the airport buildings and unload the rest of our cargo. So a successful little run today out here in Africa. I'm going to have to do some more flying out here because it's actually kind of pretty. That's just discoloration on the runway there. No, our friends are still over there. Fantastic. I do love it when they hang around. I'm going to pull us up here, actually, next to some of the other parked aircraft. Looks like it's where they want me anyway. Oh, a random float 185. Nice. Okay, this will do. Parking brake set. Let's go to conditions to off. Ah, fantastic. Aircraft shutting down nicely. Everything as we needed. And we'll wait till the spinny death stick stops running around and we'll jump out. Go help them start unloading us. Love this thing. Fantastic plane. Definitely would fly again. I like that a lot. Spinny death thing has stopped. And we can get out. Come on. How do I get out of you? Oh, hold the handle. Nice. Hello, cows. Cooey. Hey, you big, dumb, beefy beauties. Yeah, random herd of cattle. Just vibing out here. Welcome to Africa. So yeah, like I said, I'll include a huge list of the changelogs there for you in the description and the airports we flew to today. May have to come back to Africa and do some more flying. This thing I quite like. This is a fun aeroplane, and it's definitely got lots of utility, which for me is always a bonus. And it looks like I get to keep my tail number that I assigned to aircraft now, rather than it resetting constantly and always, which is a good improvement. We're going to unload our cargo here. Thanks for watching. Bye.